How's it going, everyone? My name's Dean. We're going to just get into this finals preview video in just a sec. I'm going to have a look at your comments last week, find out who actually got their predictions right. Cincy was probably one of the only one for the Elim finals. He said West Coast by 33, the Giants by 21, so he got both of those tips right. A lot of people picked the Dogs, so there you are. A lot of you were very wrong in terms of predicting the Dogs to win that game against the Giants. Anyone else getting it right? Don't think so. Bang. So only one person in the comment section last week got it right for the Elim finals. What about the qualifying finals? Did anyone get it right? Lions will win. Now, alright. A lot of people here predicting Brisbane would have won as well. Nobody except Cincy again. He picked Collingwood and Richmond to win. Honestly, his predictions, the only ones that matter. Well done to Cincy. If you guys let me know who's going to win these two finals, and in the comments, I'll tell you if you got it right in the next video. I'll feature you. Only one person. Anyway, let's get into the preview now. Footy finals. Well, not exactly, but we're going to be looking at the two semi-finals today. Did a preview last week of the 4 games over a couple of videos. So today I thought I'd do the 2 videos, two games in the 1 video. We've got the first game, which is tonight. Both these games are going to be ripper games. I know we haven't really had that super close game in this final series because generally it doesn't happen too often. Like, there's normally a team that will break out, and you know, it's generally we'll get closer home and away games between quality sides sometimes than we do with the finals. With the first week of finals, obviously, you know, there was no real close game. I think Geelong and Collingwood was probably the closest one, but the scoreboard really flattered Geelong at the end of the day. So let's have a look. Tonight's game, West Coast Geelong. What's going to happen? What are the implications for both teams? And I guess, you know, the fallout of each. Like, the big questions, I guess, for West Coast are how will they handle the whole Willie Rioli scandal that's you know, happened over the last couple of days. I don't think it will affect them too much mentally. I feel like they're a pretty prepared club. What is going to hurt them, though, is that he's a pretty damn good user of the ball. And he's been probably one of their, I guess, most dangerous kicks inside 50 to the last probably month of footy that I've been watching. He's been so good. He gets to the right spots. He's front and centre superb. He's kicking to forwards really is exactly what the forwards are after, like kicks out in front that, you know, give them space to work into. So they're going to miss that. Geelong, the other side of things, team that finished first. No team that's finished first has ever lost in straight sets since the 1920s or something stupid like that. Or I don't know. It's been a while, basically. Or it's probably not even that long, but I'm just making things up at the moment. But it's been a while since the team that finished first has gone out in straight sets. Geelong will be hoping to avoid that. The winner of this game, of course, playing the Tigers at the G next Friday night. So both these sides will be back here in a week's time, getting a game as to how that's going. It's going to be a massive game. Like, obviously, both these games are massive. It's all finals. There's 6 games to go. There's no more there's 5 games to go. There's no more second chances for anyone. If you lose now, that's it. You're out. And there are no easy games left. And this, I think, is a very, very difficult one to predict. You look at Geelong's form line coming in. Lost win since round 12 or whatever it was after the bye. So they're due for a win if they're going to continue that streak going. And, you know, if you just want to go by that stat, Geelong win the game. If you want to go off how West Coast have performed in recent weeks, you probably back them in and their best. Is their best football better than Geelong's best? I'm not too sure. At least what we've seen this season. I think West Coast best probably is, especially with Nick Naitanui, and he's going to have a massive influence on this game. Geelong smashed West Coast last time they played. They played them down at GMHBA. I had a look. They haven't played them at the MCG in the last 5 matches or whatever, so we wouldn't have any recent form between these sides at the G. But in terms of the recent records at the G, West Coast obviously have only lost 1 of their past 6 at the MCG. Geelong, they have not done very well there, especially in finals games. So it is going to be a tight game. I can't actually pick who's going to win this one, just because it keeps switching. There are so many possibilities that could go wrong. I think West Coast, if West Coast play their way and Geelong play their way, West Coast win the game. Unless Geelong can pull some kind of rabbit out of a hat and move the ball quicker. Yes, Chris Scott, I'm talking to you. Change the bloody game plan and move the ball quicker. I think West Coast will be too good. Geelong's entries inside forward 50, especially West Coast defence. They're very good. Tom Barrass, very good. Had some poor form leading into finals, but he lifts. He lifts during the finals. He's played pretty well the last couple of weeks. So if Geelong are going to play this slow, crappy game of kicking it long to guys like McGovern, guys like Barrass, Nick Natanui, you're not going to win this game, especially against West Coast, who will tear you apart on the turnover. The thing about West Coast, though, is they're a kicking team, but they're a very, very good kicking team. They have very elite foot skills, which put them in a much stronger position than a lot of other sides, and they work really hard around the ground. I don't know really what Geelong's style is if they can't, they just force stoppages, but they're not even that good at stoppages. I don't know. Dangerfield is a good player. If anything, that's a line that makes sense to everyone. I don't really know. I'm rambling at this point, but I think West Coast will win this game. I think they'll win it by under 2 goals, just because Geelong play a very defensive style of football. If it's a high-scoring game, West Coast win. If it's a low-scoring game, West Coast win again. But I just can't see how Geelong win this game. But they can win this game. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Football is difficult. This is going to be a cracking game, I think. That's my number one perspective on how this is going to go. I hope Geelong actually plays somewhat exciting football tonight. I want to watch a good game. I know West Coast will deliver some quality to the game and the performance, but it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out. The game is in the video game as Geelong winning this by a couple of goals. I think that's got it winning by about 10 points if Nick Natanui puts it through. My prediction is going to go against the game. West Coast are going to win this by, I'm going to go with 16 points. Feel like that's probably the right margin. But I really hope we see a really tight, close encounter. And I'll tell you one thing about Geelong, though. A few years ago, 2017, I think it was, everyone wrote Geelong off after they lost that first final to Richmond. They then went on to play Sydney, who were the team everyone was expecting to be the team to beat. Sydney was supposed to be this massively good team. Geelong ended up beating them then. So if West Coast is supposed to be this team that are going to go on and win, and Geelong surprise them and Geelong win, it could be that similar sort of story to 2017 for the Cats. So I'm predicting the Cats will not win this game. But you never know, because there is always the possibility of something crazy happening in football. Now, next game we've got is Brisbane taking on the GWS Giants. This is going to be another ripping game because Brisbane, I was at the Gabba last week. I had a fantastic time. If you want to watch the video for me travelling to the Gabba last week and singing along with the grog squad of the Tigers, you can have a look at that. It is up on the channel. I might leave a link for it in the description as well. But it was a great atmosphere at the Gabba. Lots of Lions fans there. It was the biggest crowd at the Gabba for an AFL match. So it was a very, very big crowd. I think it was 37,000. Sounded like about 50,000, so it was pretty good there. But can the Giants win on the road? They had a great win last week against the Dogs. Massive task for them because GWS, we've seen them make a prelim final twice in a row. Last year they got knocked out by Collingwood. At this stage, the semi-final stage, they did a similar thing. They beat up Sydney in the Elim final. Then they got pantsed by Collingwood at the MCG. So can they give themselves a chance in this game against Brisbane? I think so. Brisbane will take a lot of confidence in this game, though. They beat the Giants down in Sydney last time they played them. So they'll have confidence there that they can do that again. They're a very good team as well, Brisbane. They should have really been ahead by 3 or 4 goals plus. Maybe even at half-time against the Tigers. They just missed a lot of their opportunities. They can't afford to do that again this week. If they do that again, they're going to probably get the same result if they miss their chances. So I feel like they might be a little bit more settled here in this second week of finals. They would have gone through it once. They would have got all the nerves out, hopefully, in that first final. I think Brisbane will win this game. I think it'll be a very close game. I think it might be under a goal that Brisbane will win this game by. It could be an absolute thriller. And the Giants, I give them a very big chance of winning this as well. I mean, no Cornelio. I think he's possibly back next week. I don't know if they've ruled him out for that game. The winner of this goes on to play Collingwood at the G on Saturday night next week. So a big, big game for whoever wins as well. Honestly, it's a cracking weekend of football we have coming up. It's a lot of quality games, or 2 quality games, that I think we're going to see some really close, hard-fought battles. And I just hope they're really good games of footy. Because traditionally, finals aren't necessarily the best games of footy because they're normally super contested. And then if one team gets on top, they sort of get on a roll and roll it out. So hopefully we see some really close games tonight and tomorrow. I'm backing West Coast and Brisbane to get up. They'll play Richmond and Collingwood next week. Both MCG preliminary finals. It's a really good finals series. I know we didn't see like any real close battles in that first week, but I just feel it's starting to heat up. We're getting to that really pointy end of the year, and this is where all the teams remaining are very, very good football sides. I think it's anyone's game. If you're playing good enough football, regardless of where you finished on the ladder, you can win the flag from here. So we'll see how that all plays out. I think Brisbane are going to win. The game predicts the Giants are going to win by 5 points. I'm going to pick Brisbane by under a goal. And yeah, that is it for today's video. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments section down below. And have a great afternoon, evening, weekend of football. I hope you enjoy it. It should be a cracking sort of weekend of footy. So thank you all for watching. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.